What is going on, everybody? It is I, Shane, and I'm here to give you another Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Entertainment District episode review and recap. It is episode 8 Gathering. Now, you probably said, wait a minute, he said it the reverse of how he says it. Well, officially, it is Kimetsu no Yaiba Demon Slayer. You know what? I'm just going to start saying it how it comes up boop on Hulu. It's right there, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, and at the same time, that's pretty much how everybody knows it. Everybody knows it's Demon Slayer. At the same time, I also do Yashahime reviews, and Yashahime says Yashahime Princess Half Demon, not Half Demon Princess. So I'm gonna do it how everybody says it, and I'm gonna do it how everybody sees it. Now I might cut off the season 2 part in the titles for for now on, but boy, this is such a treat and a joy to always get this episode. Always just I think I think this series has made my top 10 for not even just for hype reasons, for so many great reasons. And I'm going to get into them in a second. But first, as always, I'm going to ask you guys, please give me a like. Hit me up with a comment. Tell me what you thought of the episode, what you think of the video, and what you think of what I'm talking about. And as always, hit that subscribe button if you're new here. And if you are not new here, hit the notification bell that's also by that subscribe button so you can be up to date with what I'm doing. Do not forget to share the video so others can see what a great time we're having. So, if you remember last time, Nezuko was going crazy, had to sing her a lullaby, touching, oh, in my heart. And then the boys, Inosuke and Zenitsu, show up. But at the same time, we have a new player. Out of her back comes her big brother Gyotaro, who is also this upper rank 6 demon. So we have a 2-for-1, guys, and this episode oh my god, it harkens me back to the good old days of Dragon Ball Z. What does that mean? I'll explain when I get there. Follow me. So, and generally, I can't remember what type of the type of reviews that usually are easier for me are action packed ones. But Demon Slayer has a way of infusing so much character development and character arc within their episodes. Even when you get to the last 5 to 10 to 13 minutes of an episode, and it starts with the action stuff. There's so much going on through these characters' thoughts, and I love it. I freaking love it. So Tanjiro's running back to get a sleeping Nezuko. She's still got those tears in her eyes. Back into the Nezuko box, which he plans on carrying her. That's how he fights. It's better for him to fight with her on his back. And we do get the flashbacks of with the lullaby and the singing tour. He ties it tight, and he's saying he's gonna fight until the end. This time he's gonna fight until the end. We're thinking back to the Mugen Train incident, and we're not having another one of those. So the demon Gyotaro is still utterly pissed about Tengen Uzui. That's how you say his name, Uzui. But he's pissed at Tengen because he's good looking, he has 3 wives, and he has tons of swagger. Says he's not like the other Hashiros that he's killed. He has natural born talent, and it makes him jealous. And he's that steady self mutilation that we get from, I think his name's Toshigi. I think his name's Toshigi from My Hero Academia or Boku no Hero. And it makes Tengen laugh. He's laughing, saying, "Do I look like someone with any talent? If someone like me gives off that impression to you, then you've really led a blessed life." And the demon looks surprised for a minute, you know, and he tells him that you may be centuries old, but you stay shut in a place like this. And he says, "I guess you can't help but be ignorant of the real world." And the sister's almost snarling at him, talking about, "What do you know?" And he's like, I know a lot, but you don't have a clue. The country is vast and it's big. It's teeming with people who would blow your mind. And some of these people are complete enigmas. And in his mind, we get the image of the Hashira. I'm assuming he's blind because he has no pupils, but he has the giant prayer beads and the one that's always crying. He calls him a total enigma. And then he says there are people who could take up a sword and become a Hashira in 2 months. And he's looking at, remember, there's the Hashira who's always has this vacant look and is always looking around. I assume he's like the sleepy type. I don't think he was always falling asleep, but he just always had a vacant look until the master showed up. He's the one that finally knocked Tanjiro out towards the end. when he wanted to beat up on the one Hashira that was trying to get Nezuko to bite him. But that dude's pretty amazing. Became a Hashira in 2 months. But where we at here? He's saying, "Me chosen. Don't give me that crap. Just how many lives do you think I've let slip through my fingers until now? You know." And I even wrote in here, this is the best part of the show. Best part of the show is these character interactions. Like, you have these two demons that have killed so many people, and we're not even talking about just the humans they've killed. They've admitted to killing demon slayers as well, and you have this demon slayer, this upper echelon, upper ranked demon slayer who has killed many demons, and throughout the course of his life, he's probably killed other people, which you're gonna find out in a minute. Um, and he's like, "That's right. I can't be like Rengoku." And he thinks about this in the image of Rengoku. Rengoku's back to back with him when he thinks of him. And Gyotaro says, "How can you explain then you not succumbing to, my blood signals are drenched in poison. So how are you not succumbing to this?" And he said, just scratching himself all over again, self mutilation. And Tengen goes, "I'm from a line of shinobi. I'm resistant to poison." And Daki's like, Shinobi were wiped out during the Edo period. You're a liar. And he's like, "That's no lie. Shinobi do exist." As a matter of fact, he had 9 brothers and sisters. And we get a nice little image of, 9 characters. Him in the center, 9 characters in a row. And he's like, unfortunately, 7 of them died before I became 15. We have kunai and all that ripping through these images. It was just blood. Nice, deep blood. It can be, the way they do the art for that, it's almost like deep ink blots, but it's for sure blood. And panicked by the decline of the clan, his father forced them to train brutally. And the only 2 survivors were himself and his 2 years younger brother. So his younger brother that's 2 years younger than him. And he says his brother was just like his father. Subordinates were pawns to him. His wives were expendable as long as they produced heirs, and no one else had to say anything. He was resolutely indifferent to everyone. And when we get an image of his brother kind of looks like the Demon Slayer version of Obito from Naruto. That's kind of how he looks. Just black hair. I wonder if Tengen's hair was ever black, but we've always seen him with those silver locks. But in this flashback, it's the master. Except he's not blind. He just, half of his the left side of his face has that marking on it, but he's not blind. He can see, and all 3 Tengen's wives are behind him. They're all kneeling down, and he's speaking to him. He said, "It must be hard, isn't it? The path that you've chosen. You've gone against everything that you were taught as a child." And it's amazing because both Tengen and his wives are kind of looking very shocked at what the master is saying. He's saying something super profound here. Um, he's saying, "You even place yourself on the battle. Oops, sorry. You even place yourself on the battlefield. Surely what you're going through is agonizing, carrying all the conflict and quandaries inside of yourself, and you're still persistent and still moving forward and still battling on, right? So that you can protect other people." And he literally thanks him and calls him a remarkable child. I don't know how old the master is, but he looks young. He's giving me off old man vibes, kind of like a Kenshin Himura's master. But through this flashback and in this period now, we have a Tengen smiling, saying he's the one that should be grateful, and he's never going to think twice about laying down his life, for the master's sake. The side of his head is purple. I just picked up on. I'm like, the side of your head is purple. It's not his purple markings. Like, it's deep purple, and his veins are popping a bit. His eyes are becoming bloodshot, not blood filled like Tanjiro's are, bloodshot. And in his mind, Ting is saying he can surely accomplish anything. Those with baggage like conflict and countries are just spineless fools, and you know that's always been the story of his life. And the demon starts to notice he's panting. He's starting to openly pant, and it's kind of funny because you wouldn't notice it as a viewer until it starts happening. And soon as Gyotaro says it, I'm already picking up on it. And he's saying you are being affected by the poison, all this bravado and everything. And Tengen slams his blade into the tip of his blade, and he's like, "No way, ain't none of this affecting me. You want to see me dance? I'm on fire. I can eat 100 udon bowls bowls of udon noodles in a flashy way, that is. And he runs in slicing, and Gyotaro dodges. Remember, Daki's on is on his shoulders. He dodges the slice, but Tengen gives the perfect up kick. What I mean the perfect, I wish I had editing right now because it reminds me of Kim from King of Fighters. There's a Taekwondo kick where you can kick just straight into the air and your legs are literally just a straight line. I think that was a an artist challenge when they had their characters draw them doing the eye pose with your head, your leg over your head. But that's the type of kick he does, kicking her into the air. And of course, the big brother's mad that he kicks the little sister, and they're both gonna attack, cloth sickles. And what Tengen does, he throws more of these explosive things. Now, Gyotaro is kind of dodging them and not hitting them. Daki hits them. And Gyotaro, you can tell when a villain is, you can tell when a character is a master at fighting, or at least in the upper echelon fighting, because they are the ones that do all the analyzing, right? Even Daki, for as sucky as she is compared to her brother, she's killed enough that she does the analyzation. And he's saying that, yeah, these flash bombs are designed so they can damage demons' bodies and they explode at the slightest friction. So, Daki got hit because Daki always gets hit. And as a matter of fact, we see her head separated from her body again. It looks like Tengen has already cut her head off again. And this time he's going for Gyotaro's neck. And it looks like the blade is so far out, but then it extends to the crescent part. And when we look again, Tengen is holding the. Remember, these are nunchuck blades. He's holding the tip of the other blade with just his. Not even 3 fingers. He's holding it with 2 fingers. But I do this, trying to cut off his neck. And he almost gets him. There's a little line there. But, Gyotaro's able to dodge it. And Tengen is very hard on himself. He's saying, I botched this. I should have been able to kill them right now. I have a little note here that I wish the Hashiras are what I like to call what the 10 swords, the Espada, heck, even the Goten, was it Goten 13? This is kind of what they should have been. Like each of these swordsmen being insanely strong. Like, yeah, when you come across an insanely strong opponent, you might die. But these people are such masters at their craft. I wish the Espada and the Hueco Mundo arc were this cool. Some of them are good, but I wish they were this cool. So Daki is pissed once again that her head's been cut off and she's bitching and moaning. And Gyotaro says, "You're on to us, aren't you?" He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." He's like, "If you don't know the secret between us, then you're gonna die anyway. And you're gonna die a slow death. Even as we speak, victory is creeping towards us." And dude just keeps self mutilating stuff. But then here comes Inosuke and Zenitsu. And this Zenitsu, I love the fact that Inosuke literally says, "I don't know about that one," because here I am with my subordinate, and out of the blue from the sky, Tanjiro appears in front of Tengen, and there's people fleeing from the district. We have Makio and Suma both trying to get people out of there. You see the dude who now has a stump for an arm. I wonder if he's going to be a major character later on down the line. Like if he's going to devote his life to doing something against demons since he lost a hand and probably some friends to this fight. But people are fleeing. But we see Hanatsuru slowly, walking around the corners, but she's not around the people. Looks like she's still somewhere deeper in the district. And Tengen gives them all the praise. He says, "Man, you guys talk about flashy entrances. That's what I like to see. We aren't at a disadvantage. There is a 4-on-2. It's not a 2-on-2 or 3-on-2. It is a straight up 4-on-2. Although Tanjiro is massively exhausted, Tengen is slowly being poisoned. So we have 2 boys that are ready to go, and we have 2 boys who are arguably our heavy hitters. They are pretty much hurt. But if you combine both of them, they could probably be one person that can do something. But Gyotaro tells him, summon all the underlings you want. Tanjiro's panting, and he's saying, Was it saying was it the guy Gyotaro was saying, they're all gonna die, so stop with all the sparkling eyes and stuff. And Tanjiro was able to pick up really fast on what's going on. He's saying, okay, so I remember Daki getting her head cut off, but there's another demon here, and they both have these same. So he's like, okay, both of them are the upper rank 6 because the scent from Gyotaro is so thick and pungent, it's making the back of his throat numb. Remember, Tanjiro's the nose guy, Zenitsu's the ears guy, and what is my guy? Inosuke is the touchy feely guy. Not touchy feely, but you know what I'm trying to say. And his hands are shaking. One of his hands are shaking out of fatigue or fear, but out of where it goes, he's going to steel himself. And in his mind, before he can even says it, he says, "Even so, out loud, Tengen says, we are going to win, us, the Demon Slayers." So Daki lets it slip that Tengen's been poisoned, which gives Tanjiro, okay, Tanjiro's like, all right, he's been poisoned, cool. And Tengen's like, I'm on top of my game when I'm shackled down with poison. I love the fact that it's not just bravado. He's openly lying to the opponents. Like, he already, hold on, before I get ahead of myself, I'm going to keep going. He calls all three of these guys his Suguko, which it means they're the ones who train directly underneath him. That's a lie. Um, he says they have relentless grit. That's not a lie, and Inosuke loves that. And even if their limbs are fall off, they won't stop until they've identified how to beat you. And I'm like, have they identified how to beat him? Is that a number? Is that a third lie? And he's like, and of course it's by beheading both of you at the same time, right? And Tanjiro sees Rengoku in not inside of Tengen, but right beside Tengen. He sees, Kyojiro's big smile right there with Tengen's big smile, and it just makes me go, oh man, these I didn't expect to like these guys. How do you show me the first four of the Hashiras? Two of them, being well, actually Shinobu wasn't all in favor of Nezuko because Gyu put his life on the line, and just four of these people, and I'm already like, man, I like these guys. It's very rare, at least for my taste, very rare for me to even like certain characters and I find some kind of flaw. And Zenitsu's greatly winning me over. I love his voice actor. The voice actor is really good. So he says, otherwise, there's no reason for you to assimilate your weaker sister into yourself, right? So easy peasy, we're gonna take you both out. And he literally just says easy peasy. His eyes white. So whose eyes go white? Someone's eyes go. Oh, Tengen's eyes are white because he's kind of in a comedic bravado mode, and Inosuke is bragging about how strong they are and how badly they're going to beat them. And Gyotaro says, other demon slayers couldn't do anything because they simply did not observe what to do. Not even Hashiras could beat them. He's killed 15. Daki has killed 7. That's 22 if my math is correct, guys. They devoured that many. She says none of them made it to the light of day. I mean, the long nights are always on their side. And when Zenitsu's feet widen the moment Daki starts speaking, and he moves at the speed of lightning because she goes in at Tengen with cloth drawn. This dude hits her and sends her through the roof, and now they're in the air. And of course, Tanjiro calls from an Inosuke is pulling the Captain America here because he's saying, "Hey, I'm gonna leave the worm lady to me, and I don't know what he calls it, but leave the worm lady to us. You two fight praying mantis guy." And he's like, "All right, cool." And he just tells Tanjiro tells him, "Watch your back." And of course, this guy's like, "I'm not gonna let you kill my little sister." But man, Inosuke is he's really good at naming these villains. Like he might be the secret goat of Demon Slayer, and I know he has tons of fans. I don't know if these fans have actually finished the manga or not. Dude seems like a secret goat. Anyway, Zenitsu has something he wants to say to her. Now, guys, Zenitsu is sleep talking. This is amazing that this dude is at his best when he's sleep talking. His voice is pretty damn. It's not super deep, but it's deep enough to be really good and really soothing. I wish he was more like this throughout the daytime. Plus, his voice actor is going to play Rudeus from Jabba's Reincarnation. He did his voice in the web novel, so I have all the faith in the world that this voice actor can do almost any role that he puts his mind to. But he says something. He says, I want you to apologize for pulling that girl's ear. He's still thinking about when she pulled that little girl's ear. And she's like, huh? He's like, even though your earnings provided them all with the basic needs, that still does not give you the right to make them your playthings. Go back here. To make them your playthings. And, we get a flashback of seeing her pull that girl up and that girl's ears just bleeding because she's pulling her. And she's like, don't bore me with the lecture. What in the world is someone as ugly as you? Man, they make these guys so easy to hate. Like the upper ranked demons have been so easy to hate. I know some people might like Akaska because he's the fighty dude. It's really, out of all the ones we've seen so far, it's pretty easy to hate them. Even the stupid Mugen Train kid who was trying to work his way up, these guys are super easy to hate because they're such assholes. Pardon my language. But she continues to speak and says that in the city, women are merchandise, which is more or less true. She says they're the same as objects, sold and bought and destroyed. And we see dark figures. We see really dark figures with red smiles looking at the figure of a geisha woman. She's kind of behind a cage. But then we get the image of a butterfly. And she says it's up to the owner to do what they please. Ugly people don't get to eat, and the inept shouldn't be treated as humans. And we get the image of the same butterfly burning before it could even go any further. And Zanisa says you shouldn't do the same horrible things to others that were done to you. And then she says you're wrong. The horrible things done to us. She starts speaking in a double voice now. It's her voice overlaid with Gyotoro's voice. And the horrible things that's been done to us, the things that made us suffer, we do them back to others and collect on those debts. That is such a twisted way of thinking. And the sad part is there are actually people in the real world that think like this. Because if this person in my past hurt me, I'm going to hurt every new person that I meet. Because, hey, it happened to me, so I want others to feel that pain. That's such a nasty, evil way of thinking. Guys, don't be that way. Do not be that way. Do not treat other people wrong just because someone else has done that to you. Anyway, her fists are clenched, and she's saying we can never make up for our own misfortunes unless we collect them from the blessed. So, in other words, because we had, misfortunes, we're just gonna take from other people. So easy to hate. Really good writing. Really, really good writing. The upper rank 6 demons seem so deplorable. Just they are so far removed from their humanity. It is crazy. Not like any of the other demons who we've gotten flashbacks for that Tanjiro has fought. These guys are just gross. And Zenitsu's frowning while asleep. He's frowning even more because her forehead splits open and there's a third eye in there. It is her brother's eye because they are speaking simultaneously, literally. And he is saying with his eye closed, actually, well, from our point of view, it would be this is my right eye, but technically it's his left eye. And he's saying we've killed off everyone who's ever leveled a false accusation against us, right? So we're gonna slash your windpipe just like we did theirs. And his left eye is closed, so that's how this ability is working. And Tanjiro can feel the unbelievable bloodlust, and it's giving him chills. It's like I'm up against the upper rank 6 demon. He got to get a hold of himself because Uzui has been poisoned. He needs to protect him. The moment this guy moves, I'm gonna strike. And the moment he moves an inch, and that demon, it's as if they skipped the frame of animation. He's already there, about to skewer him through the jaw. And he's talking to himself in his head. He's like, move, bend backwards, twist, do something. And Uzui grabs this guy by the back of his shirt, throws him back, and engages in this battle. And this is the perfect battle for these two because Gyotaro might not be a ninja. He's fighting with ninja weapons, and we have a ninja Hashira. Sorry, Shinobi Hashira. And Tanjiro's mad because he's like, man, I'm supposed to be protecting him, and he ends up protecting me. But Daki's claws, multiple claws, not just 4 or 6, multiple of them are shooting through the roof, and Tanjiro is blocking, trying to get some type of footing. And Inosuke makes it finally to the top, but we can see the the clumps stabbing through. And uh, belts is what they call them. And Inosuke says, "Hey, she has three eyes," and she says, "Now I can see everything." Now that her brother's awakened, they can finally see her true power. Which I guess is I'm at a dilemma here because depending on your brother's power doesn't really make you strong. But at the same time, I'm okay with people doing tag teams and depending on the power of friendship. They're like the first group of demons that have actually like been like, yeah, we're gonna work together because well, I actually love you because you're actually my brother and sister, as opposed to the other spider dude who forced people to do whatever he wanted. Pretty interesting. I wonder if he was actually influenced by Gyotaro and Daki's relationship. So, Inosuke tells her to shut up. Uh, wow. Before we get to, well, I'm just going to do this part. He tells her to shut up and says, "If you want to prove anything, else try to kill us." And she's happy to oblige them, but he says shut up to her twice because she has a shrill voice, and Gyoro's like, you're a liar. These guys aren't your Suguko because your movements are way out of sync, and it's a total bust. And the boys outside can't even get close to her. They're dodging the cloth, which is what Zenitsu doing, and in those cases, hitting and batting them. Our boys that can't even get in, and not Tanjiro, Tengen is going one on one with this guy. And this battle is really rough. He throws more flashbangs to try to get Gyotaro and the belts off of him. Some of the belts do get hit, but they're engaging again. It is really, really good and really fast action. Mwah! Kiss for you, Ufotable, because you're doing amazing. And Tengen's like, man, this guy really is like a praying mantis, and he's wondering what's going on with the slashes. He's getting cut here and there, and the belts are moving around him. They're able to dodge these things into attack, and Tanjiro's cutting some of the belts and jumps behind Tengen to block three of these spinning blood sickles attacks. That remember he did those last episode, so he's blocking it. And he's like, man, the weight of these slashes are heavy, and he's finally able. I love how quickly. Remember, this is one long ass night. How quickly he's able to analyze. Like, wait a minute, I need to just ward these attacks off. Trying to do power versus power, which is the example we get. Who's ever weaker, you're going to lose. But if I control the flow of it and push that attack away, my sword wouldn't even have been nicked because if he keeps trying to, use power versus power, his blade's going to snap. And he finally is able to realize this and deflects these slashes away, giving Tengen an opportunity. By the way, he does this by breathing in, using his water style to deflect it, and giving Tengen a moment to use the sound ability fifth form string performance, which is he's spinning both of these blades. The blades are silver, and there's fireworks. This looks like fireworks everywhere. Finally able to get Gyotaro outside, who's like, your flashy and noisy attacks aren't going to do anything. Don't think you realize he got him away from the stupid cloths, dude. And even wait, didn't want to mix this. On the roof, Daki's able to use these blood sickle attacks too, and the boys are dodging them. And Inosuke can just instinctively tell, I can't get touched by these because I got a feeling something really bad's gonna happen. And Inosuke's doing most of the talking because Zenitsu's technically asleep. But before two claws can even get to Tengen, Tanjiro stabs through them. He's like, do not let him constantly attack. Find a way to be useful. And I'm just like, yeah! I popped with him. Like, yeah! Got to find a way to win. And Tengen can just tell. Again, speaking his mind while he's fighting, he can tell Tanjiro is not going to be able to hold up much longer. It's a miracle that he can still even move. And the shoulder wound, I already knows he has a shoulder wound, should be super deep, but he's found a way to stop the bleeding, but it's really touch and go. And his left hand is tied to the hilt of his sword. And he's like, that is the only way he is keeping a grip of his sword. And Tengen once again blames himself. It says, it's all because I got poisoned. I have to take care of this or we're all going to be wiped out. Shouldering the blame, easily for me to identify with this character. I love this guy so much. And Tanjiro's, holding on, fighting against the cloth. He's like, I can't catch my breath. I'm gasping for air. I need to take a minute to do my recovery breathing, or I'm gonna black out. Hinetsuru is now on top of the roof with the greatest invention I've ever seen. It looks like a almost a Gatling gun. Actually, go look in the comics. Look at Frank Castle's gun that shoots knives. He calls them swords, but they're knives. His knife gun, she shoots kunais. Three separate boxes, so it's probably like three. It's probably 3 by 3, 9 kunai in each box. So she's what am I doing here? 3 times 9, 18. No, that's not 18. You idiot. That's 24. So she's shooting 24, and my math is probably off, but shooting 24 kunai at both of them. It's Tengen is Gyotaro. Gyotaro's like, okay, so these are just kunai. I really shouldn't let these hit me, but they're going towards both of us. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna deflect all these things. He does his demon blood art rampant arc blood rampage, which is basically looks like the Hyuga rotation. He uses his blood thing to make a dome around himself and deflects these kunai. While he's like, I wonder what was the purpose of this attack. Tengen is already in his face. He has a kunai in his cheek, kunai in his chest, and a kunai in his side. And he's like, this. He's like, what the heck is going on with this dude? He's like, oh, that's right. You're not a swordsman. You're a shinobi. You already have otherworldly senses. Tengen cuts his legs at the knees, and his legs aren't regenerating. He's like, what? And the making him fall back made two kunai hit in the Gyotaro. They are made of wisteria, which is something. If you've been paying attention to the series, wisteria is the bane. It's literally demon's bane for them. Hurts them, kills them. Well, more or less kills them. Stops them from regenerating. That's why most safe houses of the Demon Slayer Corps have the wisteria symbol and have wisteria around the perimeter. So, the amazing choreography of this is Tanjiro's already over Tengen's back and his blade is ready to cut Gyotaro's neck. And, Hinatsuru's like, do it. And Tanjiro's like, yeah, let's go. And before we get there, it's the end of the episode. And I'm telling you, the ending song, I need to look this ending song up, find out the proper name for it, because it goes perfectly with the mood of this entire arc. Love it to death. The Nin Nin, which usually the Taisho secret, no, the Nin Nin is Tengen wondering how would Rengoku fight. He's like, I'm not able to handle it like you would. And then Rengoku says, I can't be like you either. And we get the image of Rengoku talking to Tengen. It's like, it's a moment, guys. It's a moment. And he's like, your sword skills are a thing of beauty, and you have, you have too many wives though, but your sword skills are a thing of beauty. He asks him to look over our boys, look over the trio. Of course, he has nicknames for them. Look over Komoda, Boarhead, and the yellow-haired boy. But he's telling them look after our trio, and calls him Uzui, calls him by his first name, and he vanishes. And he's like, leave those flashy jobs to me. Episode 9 is defeating an upper ranked demon. Oh, now I might not have. I think I said the one with Tanjiro doing more of the sun attacks. That was the top for me. Obviously, this entire arc is really good. I've not been bored. There's been a good mixture of emotion, character development, character moments, exposition, and fighting all in one. So this episode does not fall off the mark. I may have had a personal favorite, like seeing the Hino Kamikagura, but that by no means means that this episode falls and this episode fails. And I love the fact that I told you guys earlier, it reminds me of old school Dragon Ball Z. Look, man, Dragon Ball Z's whole one-on-one battles, that stuff only started with the Cell games. That whole Cell Saga stuff with Vegeta going one-on-one, and Cell being like, I want it to be like a world tournament, so we'll fight each other one-on-one to see if you guys can save the Earth. That crap started then. I liked when it's like Vegeta, Gohan, Krillin, Piccolo all fighting mutant head, big, tall, muscular Frieza. I like that stuff. Even the last time that ever happened in Dragon Ball Z was Krillin and Trunks trying to fight the newly perfect form of Cell. I'm not trying to pepper this with Dragon Ball Z. I'm saying I love this because it reminds me of the good parts. Not every fight needs to be one on one. And I like how in Demon Slayer, the one on one fights make sense. It's like, hey, I need you to make sure these people are okay. Oh, my buddy has to fight this guy. I'm going to fight this person one on one. Okay, cool. Someone else has come in to either relieve me of doing this or to help me do this. Or like the fight with Killjirobe and Goku versus Akaza. Both Inosuke and Tanjiro were out of their league at the moment, so they knew anything they tried to do, they would just be getting in his way. I like it when those things make sense. But please tell me, what was your favorite part of this episode? What do you think about this arc in total? I heard there was 11 episodes, so we got 3 more left, and next week's episode falls on my birthday weekend, so I am looking forward to seeing a amazing episode. Once again, tell me what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit me up with a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. Hit the notification bell if you are not. And don't forget, share the video so others can see what a great time we're having. I am enjoying this series. I hope you guys are too. I know some people like to say a lot of stuff is overhyped, but hey, if you're watching and give it a chance, I think you will like, especially if you like sword animes. And if you don't like it, it's okay. It's okay. Thank you for taking some time out to watch me talk about this great anime. Please be good, be blessed, wash your hands, wear a mask, be safe out there. It's nuts out there, guys. Just as always, be good to yourself and be good to others how the way it goes. Do not be a jerk. And as always, I will most definitely be seeing you next time.